What's going on?
Hola, mi gente.
There you go.
Welcome to Keeping It Real with the Freakin Rican. I missed you guys. Last week I wasn't here. Just too much going on in the business, too much going on in life. But
It's been crazy.
we are here today.
Hola Boricua, first comment. There you go.
Oh, that's fast.
Luz Cornier.
Luz, ¿cómo está Luz? I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I hope you ate a lot of pavo y pernil and pasteles and coquito.
Oh, dude, I'm going to stop you right there. I had your pasteles the other day cuando me lo trajiste.
Oh, right.
So
I forgot.
that same night, I was like, okay, vamos a poner dos. So we waited for them to be ready. Comimos dos, and then we put another 4. So tenemos que hablar. They're so good.
It's so funny because everybody that orders says the same thing. They're like, you know what? I'm trying to hold off, and that's it. They have 2 y ya se jodió la cosa.
You got to ration them.
Yeah. But it's so hard to,
Yes,
especially when you haven't had them in such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So to all those people that ordered, I mean, we've gotten so many orders. Thank you so much for supporting us, and we're so appreciative of the love that you've always given us, and that we're able to enter your home and make your celebration that much more wonderful. So thank you so much for choosing the Freakin Rican.
Look at that video. Look at that van. Está repleta.
Yeah.
If you guys are listening to it on the podcast version, we're showing the video from the Instagram page, the Freakin Rican
I
restaurant.
love that video. I sound so cute with my Spanish, but after Victor cut off the video, those boxes fell. I thought he got that because that was hilarious. But yeah, that was we had, I think like last week, we shipped out a total of about 180 something boxes.
Wow.
And now we have the same amount or more to ship this week. So it's crazy. But again, we're very appreciative and we're very thankful that that business is booming in a time where we're living in so much uncertainty. It's crazy. So thank you so much for supporting us.
Yeah, and especially nowadays. And by the way, we have people que ya te están mandando saluditos. We're gonna get to all the saludo and question that you guys have. But especially in this time where you it can't be just, hey, I'm gonna go in and work. You have to wait for somebody else to make a decision.
Yeah.
Y eso es lo que vamos a hablar today. We're gonna be talking about personal growth.
Yes. I think all of us could learn a lot from this episode. I was talking to my sister earlier today, Leo, and to a good friend of mine, Cynthia from Flaco Coquito.
Shout out to Cynthia.
Yeah. Oh my God, Cynthia! I went to the liquor store on Sunday because I had bought 2 bottles, which I posted on Instagram, showing that, of course, I support, because you always have to support. Yeah. And so I went to the liquor store, and so I got 2 bottles. I finished them. I gave to the employees. And I was dropping off one of my employees because it was so cold Sunday.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, let me take her home. But then I said, you know what, I want some Flaco Coquito. So I said, ay, Marina, tengo que hacer un U-turn. So I did a U-turn, and the liquor store was closed. I was so depressed.
No,
so
man.
So I definitely, and the liquor store sold out. They sold out already.
Wow.
The liquor store, I think, is like 2 blocks away from the restaurant. So if you guys are coming to pick up pasteles, sazon, adobo, you're going to see that bottle at the counter, and we're going to tell you, go 2 blocks away and pick up Flaco Coquito. I think it's like, I forgot how much it costs, but it's amazing. But anyway, so I was talking to my sister, actually, first, and we were talking on how in life, you project kind of how you have grown up and what your parents have thrown onto you tend to sometimes throw onto your children. And then sometimes if no one gets help in between, the cycle continues and you make not the wisest decisions in your life based on how you're kind of brought up and what you've dealt with. So it was pretty interesting because, for instance, I'm brave enough to say that growing up, I was a little tough on my niece,
Okay.
which is, my sister's daughter, the oldest niece, because she has a baby now. But I was very strict.
Why? Did you ever notice why?
Because my mom was always strict.
Okay.
So now being 41, I'm in a different space in my life where I probably wouldn't have been so strict. Because you go through your journey, and your 20s, you're dealing with this, your 30s, you're kind of trying to figure it out, but you're still trying to figure it out. Then as far as me for my for my 40s, I feel like now I got it together.
Okay.
Mentally, I'm not with the same baggage that my mom kind of, in a sense, left me with.
Indirectly?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. So most people say, hey, when you're in your 20s, that's when you're trying to figure yourself out. So you think it's maybe like a los 30, 35,
yes,
40?
Yes. Yeah. Even, let me tell you, sometimes, I mean, everyone's journey has a different time. So you could be 50, 60, and you just figured it out. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to talk about this because sometimes people don't have that group of friends that, como te apoya, or will tell you, you know what, why don't you try doing it this way? You may have the same circle of friends that think alike. They had the same parenting skills, and so you continue to do the same thing. So my mom was OD strict.
Of course.
I mean, my sister didn't go to the prom. We were always on lockdown, and
eso para fresca, right?
Yeah,
that's what they thought.
Right. Yeah. But that's their frame of mind back in those days. But then you don't let your kids, experience life.
Yeah. Well, me personally, I think también tiene que ver con evolution.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we have to learn from our parents, but we also have to make our own decisions.
Right.
And you hit it right on the head. Like, okay, we kind of left with baggage a little bit from our parents, but then we still got to make our decisions.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna say
sometimes that's tough to do.
Yeah.
When all you have is, someone in your subconscious telling you, this is how you do it, or you do it that way.
Yeah.
It's hard to think for yourself because you're so programmed.
Yeah, tenemos gente acá, te está mandando todos saluditos. By the way, guys, share the video. Let the people know that we are here. JAW, Wepa, greetings from Polonia. So you got people from Poland tuning in.
Let me find out.
Polonia,
and you're Puerto Rican in Poland?
I'm going to tell you this.
How Puerto
Ricans are everywhere.
Well,
you're everywhere.
I think everyone is everywhere nowadays.
Just about.
Yeah, you try to find your happy place. It doesn't matter where it's at. But Puerto Rico and Poland, wow.
Yeah. And I think nowadays you have a lot of mixes,
Oh, yeah.
The weirdest thing I saw a couple of days ago, Latin people in England, pero que they speak like in English, but with like the British accent and the Puerto Rican accent, because, we got accents when we speak English, right?
Yes.
But it's a nice weird mix. You guys should look at it on YouTube.
Get out of here.
It's crazy. But you got that globalization nowadays. And it's funny because, lo que vos estabas diciendo de our parents, right? You didn't have the technology and you didn't have the information like we do now.
Right.
Me personally, I think si una persona no quiere aprender what's out there, like you can even look it up. Like right now when we're talking about personal growth.
Yeah. That you actually nailed it in the bud, because I think that makes sense. Sometimes you want to get maybe parenting magazines. You want to read up in the internet. And back in those days, they didn't have those things. And back in those days, mucha gente sufría, pero no hablaban. So they suffered like in silence. So,
to this day, para sacarle dos palabras a mi papá, le tengo que estar hablando 45 minutos. Tener Lizboo 909 saying the only thing we could do back in the day, we could stand in front of the house. That was it. That's true. That's true.
Well, yeah, but so like I was saying, so sometimes that you got to break out of that cycle,
Yeah.
and you have to learn how to try to do things a little differently, and that sometimes could be a challenge. I know for myself, like I said with my niece, I was way too strict, and now at 41 I'm like, no, that's not the way. You want to be a little strict, but at the same time you want to let that person develop their own self,
their own way.
Right. And not for you to project how you want them to be, in a sense. Kind of let them go, but just kind of guide them through it.
So let me ask you a question. When you were first being strict, you didn't notice that, correct? Like, you didn't notice that you were that strict?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
No.
do you think that you were more like afraid for her to make mistakes that, that they instilled on you, like, oh, Derek, no hagas esto because of this?
Yes.
Like, do you think that you were more like afraid?
Of course, it's always, not always, but of course, I feel like a large majority of it is with good intention. But the good intention, but that person growing up is going to grow up a little screwed up by it.
Of course.
So you know what I'm saying? And everyone has a different process. And so some people don't process things too well. So I always had the guilt. Honestly, like I mean, her birthday passed not too long, and I said, I love you so much, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sorry that I was so strict with you, because I had to say I'm sorry, because I realized that what I did wasn't the correct way. Okay. And I want her to know that I'm sorry, you know?
You know what that shows? Personal growth.
Yeah.
that's basically what it does.
No, yeah. But, there's some people that,
Oh, no, que son terco. Like, no, I'm not sorry.
And I'm not her parent, but let me tell you, some of our parents will never say I'm sorry. But again, in your personal growth, you have to be okay with that. And you have to know, you know what? This is what this person did with what they had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you have to try to find that healing. And so that's what sometimes takes so long.
And it's funny that you bring that up, because again, this is a safe space. People say there's a safe space. No, this is really a safe space, because
this is no judgment.
We're here to talk about things. You were brought up totally different than I was, and the people that listen to us. But what happens at the end of the day, a lot of Spanish people no quieren hablar de los problemas. No quieren hablar de la muerte.
Taboo.
No quieren hablar de nada que no tenga que ver con lo que está en la televisión.
I was talking to my friend, actually, and I start therapy, which I've been meaning to start therapy for a while. Yeah. I tried a therapist out. We did 3 sessions. I just didn't feel it was like the right fit. Okay. So now I start therapy on Monday, which I'm like so excited for. I think at 41, I got it pretty much figured out. Okay. Life has taught me a lot, but I think we all need. Yeah. And so the Hispanic frame of mind is like, therapy, yo no estoy loco.
Exactly.
So it's like,
I was about to write that.
¿Qué? Psiquiatra? What? Tú estás loco? I'm not crazy. And so they always, associate it with you being crazy. And it's really not about you being crazy. It's about you wanting to really heal that, that inner child inside of you that has had trauma. I think we've all had some type of trauma, and when you don't confront it, that actually comes up in your relationships, in the choices that you make, or the choices that you don't make. So once you kind of get that out and go through the feelings that you've kind of put on the back burner because you're strong, once I feel like you deal with that, you'll progress more in life. And so as far as me, I'm already there. Like I'm successful. I'm happy. So I could just make things so much more better for myself and for the friends around me, because what I learn, I like to share with others. So I think we all need therapy. It doesn't have a thing to do with crazy or
no. And you know what? At the simplest
Pero
form,
para los latinos, it's always, tú estás loco.
The only form of therapy the Spanish people have is when they're like 3/4 drunk and they're like, ¿sabe qué? I love you. pero es verdad, boludo. Pero just like the simplest form of therapy is just talking to your friends. you know. Pero what happens? Sometimes your friends están tan cerca del problema que they can't be objective.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been to therapy too, you know, and again, lo mismo, eso pa loco, no solamente.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes you need to speak to somebody that's like out. Like
That
que no
doesn't
tienen-
know you.
Exacto.
That doesn't know you.
Exacto. We have people here, white, black. They said therapy was the best thing that I've done in my life. Find yourself a good psychologist, people. We can all use it. Y eso tiene que ver lo que vos dijiste recién. It wasn't a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a doctor, just like anything.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it can't be
I mean,
just
you,
el primero.
no. You should always give them a chance.
Mhm.
So I said, you know what? Let me give this guy like
More
three
than
sessions.
one, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know. I mean, this person doesn't know you,
Mhm.
so they ask you all these questions because they have to. They got to get to know you. But I don't know. I felt like I was
Mhm.
talking to someone that had just gotten out of school, like the.
Okay.
I don't know, and it's expensive. It's
Pero,
expensive because if you don't have insurance, it's I think it was like I don't know $160 a session for 45 minutes, mijo.
And
So
it adds up.
I wanna get a good therapy session,
Arcuda 2001. I love the names, by the way, that people pick. It's awesome. I love listening to you. We would have a much healthier world if everybody would get therapy.
Yeah, definitely. I
Mhm.
think the world would be a totally different place, but that's why I feel it's up to us to talk to each other and to try in this crazy world that we're living in right now. I think it's so important for you to just talk to your friend or just to a stranger, and if that stranger has a different opinion than you, which oftentimes happens, you still talk with the same amount of respect and love to that person because it's okay to have a different opinion. And so now it's not okay to have a different opinion. If you have a different opinion, you're looked like the outcast, and it shouldn't be that way, because I think the most amazing things in life are created by people that don't always see eye to eye. And this is how they build something and create something so amazing, because this one has the eye for this, the other one has the eye for that. And it just, ends up being something amazing.
So let me ask you, as a business owner, if you had a whole bunch of yes men or yes people around you, would you have gotten to the place that you're at right now?
No.
Porque if everybody tells you, yeah, go ahead and do this, like you need, again, that goes to that whole difference of opinions, and because again, you need to have that conversation.
Right.
Porque si it's always yes, then te vas a volver loco.
No, exactly. Not everything is perfection, Not everything is going to align the way you want it to.
Tenés también Virginia ahí, Elba Feliciano te está mandando saluditos.
Oh, Elba, how are you, Elba?
Representing Boricuas in Maryland. I told you, you guys are everywhere.
Oh, of course,
man.
yeah. We're in Georgia. I know because of the packages that we send, and we send packages like I look at those packages sometimes, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing in wherever you're at?
And it's funny. We could put that for the people to put on the chat. Let us know how you got there. Right? Like what? Okay, I know que puede ser un tío, un primo, but what made you go and stay there?
Yeah, a lot of the stories that I've heard, because I talk to a lot of the customers. Sometimes a lot of the stories that you hear are like, oh, I wanted something quieter. I wanted to move away to get more land, or I wanted to move away from my family. They're crazy, que si esto, que lo otro. Because, I mean, los Latinos, nosotros tenemos una familia that's like, I mean, out of this world. Sometimes you need to get away, and that's part of, breaking kind of that cycle where you're like, no, I can't. I want a different life. I love you. From Ohio.
Pero esa es la diferencia. And I actually, again, with the holidays and stuff, I actually pulled up one of the Christmas cards my mom gave me.
Oh.
Right? Because I still keep them.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I miss
cute.
my mom.
That's cute.
Pero I was reading the card, and it was when I first moved out. And one of the words that she wrote on there was like, what did I do wrong for you to move out? And I remember telling her, like, you didn't do anything wrong. Like,
Right.
again, it's for me to grow.
Yeah.
You have Yesenia C. Decido, bendito, true. I just turned 49. I have 3 daughters, 25, 20, and 16. I'm still learning how to parent. Was strict, but I've gotten better. Overprotective, too. I want to keep my girls always safe.
Yeah.
But hey, at 49, and hello to Yesenia, at 49, she is again, she's growing, that personal growth where she was like, you know what, maybe I was too strict.
I got the chills because because you know what it is? There's never the perfect age, but I feel like you always should want to be better. You know, you for yourself, for your family, and for the world. Because it becomes like a disease, like contagious. You spread it to other people, and then other people spread it to other people, and then you walk out into a world that's so different, you know?
Of course.
So it is really, really important.
Check this out. John Rosado, he said, we left Southern California to go to Myrtle Beach to leave the rat race and craziness of Cali. We didn't have family or friends up here. We just took the chance and ended up loving it.
Yeah.
There you go. And again, it's about that personal growth. It's about moving. It's about
right.
And
Just changing, just giving yourself the time to kind of figure things out. You know, I was also talking to my friend. I've been talking a lot these days. But you know, because sometimes we go through different things and different phases in our lives, and some people either think, oh my God, it's the end.
Yeah.
You know, son como, which I get it. Like, I've been through it too. You know, your
like
drama, you're
closing,
crying. You're like, oh my God, ¿por qué? You know, like a telenovela. Why me? And you don't realize that then a couple years go by and you're like, I'm glad that this happened. Because look at me. You know, for instance, I mean, the story, everybody, you know, I lost my first restaurant. So look at what I have now. I would have never, ever had what I have now if that hadn't happened. Because that showed me so much. I learned so much. There was so much personal growth in that failure that it wasn't a failure. And it was actually my stepping stone to success. So if you just allow yourself that space and know and be confident enough to know that the universe, God, your angels, whatever you believe in, that, you know what, they got me. I know I'm going through this change because I need to.
Of course.
And then you allow that greatness to come in. But the more you fight it, the more you're going to be miserable.
And again, I know we're going to say personal growth about another 100 times before we're done today.
Yes, because, you know, that's the name of it.
That is part of it.
It is.
And I think, you know, and I'm pretty sure you're going to say, yeah, pero at that point, when you had to close that first restaurant, you thought, again, como dijimos ahora, it was the end. Like, oh, my God, the walls are closing in. It can't get any worse.
You, I got drunk. I mean, no, because, you know, that's how I deal. Well, that's not how I deal with things, but that is how I dealt with that. It's like I was strong. I had like a good 3 drunken nights. I got it out of my system. I cried because, it was tough.
But that's part of healing, though.
Right. It was tough, but that fueled me so much that everything that I say, I'm different. I learn from my experiences. Some people don't.
That's the key word.
That's a big difference too. That made me learn so much what I shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Because in that business, I did so much wrong that now this business, I actually have a little trauma, which that's gonna come good for the therapy because my control issues come from that failure because I was like, oh, I'm the owner.
Yeah.
You know, like
I can't do no wrong.
It was the first time I owned something, you know, other than my freaking sneakers or something. So I was like, what? I'm the owner. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
That's why I got 12, 13 employees. But that wasn't the way to do it. And now I work like a freaking beast.
Yeah.
And I have all these employees, but I still work like a beast. So everything that I didn't do, I do now to the 10th degree. So now I need to learn how to like, woo, a little balance, you
And
know.
I gotta look for the quote. Somebody said that barbers are also the best therapists.
Oh yeah,
They are
bartenders.
yes, they
Bartenders
are.
too.
But you still also need to speak to somebody
No,
that went
yeah.
to school for it,
Yes,
that's able to
yes.
say, okay, you know, you
Right.
miss your mom. This is why you
Right,
miss
right,
your
right.
mom.
No,
you know?
exactly.
Yesenia dice, exactly. I was passing on what I had learned. I wasn't necessarily the correct thing to do. I made mistakes, but I've grown so much that I know they understand and they will be better moms.
Right, right. That's all we could do.
yeah.
That's all we could do.
John De Leon dijo, some Spanish moms don't want to see their kids leave the nest. My mother cried like a baby. So there you go. So mine wasn't the only one.
Right, right, right.
If nothing changes, nothing changes. The only thing that is constant is change. The resistance to change is what makes the change painful. John De Leon. We should put that on a shirt somewhere.
Yeah, no.
But it's true, though.
No,
it's
it
true.
is.
Porque uno le tiene miedo al cambio.
Yeah, yeah.
Uno le tiene miedo al unknown.
Right.
Pero you had to go through that.
And I feel like you just sometimes you get so addicted to the routine that when the routine is shaken up a bit, it's like, oh my God, wait, hold up. But this is not going the way it normally does. But it's okay because, like I was telling again, my friend, it's like
Vamos a decir anónima.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know, you have something that goes the same way for so long. Sometimes it's just stagnant. Sometimes something is missing. And then the universe shakes up something because you need to learn. You need to grow.
Yeah.
And you can't be the victim. You have to learn how to take whatever you have and make it into something better and not fall into this depression. Okay, porque me pasó esto? You got to try to find solutions. And you'll see how everything will get better. You know, I was talking to another friend of mine.
Anonymous too.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, she's from Venezuela, right? So she's talking about, I mean, every time she talks to me, I want to cry. How people in Venezuela right now don't have food. You know, they work. The money doesn't even get them for a freaking thing of eggs.
Yeah.
Like the kids don't have shoes. Like, it's so bad. So she's working and she's always trying to send money to her family.
Yeah.
She sends money for this. She's
hustling
money for that. Right. And so I tell her to take care of herself too.
Yeah.
Because she's the type of person that she gives and she gives and she gives because she cares so much, but she then forgets about her too. And so, of course, you got to take, you know, you want to take care of your kids. And, you know, she has some kids over there and they have kids and blah, blah, blah. But if you don't take care of you how are you going to take care of everyone else?
By the way, people are saying that you're also a therapist. Andres Cruz is saying, I made the pernil to relieve some stress. So there you go. See, your recipes
you
are
stabbed it. You're like, oh, that's it. I'm getting all this frustration out.
No, but you know what? And it's all about that. It's all about, you know, that we don't know what tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, I think, we like to stay in the same lane. Like, have you ever been in a job where you feel like, I'm dying inside?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and me personally, I felt that. But I didn't feel it when I was working. I felt it now, like going back and thinking about it. Like, that's 8 years of my life that I just sat there in a chair just looking at a computer.
Right.
At least now I'm moving, you know?
I think a lot of people, actually now with this whole quarantine, I think a lot of people are reflecting because, hello, they have nothing more than time.
Netflix cansa.
Right. To reflect and say, wow, like, where did, you know, I spent, I spoke about it before. My friend works for this company for so many, I think like plus 20 years.
Yeah.
The company, that's it. This happened. The company let him go. He makes too much money. He was so loyal to this company. So loyal. He got so many job offerings from other companies. Never. So loyal. Y ahora mira. So it makes you think. It makes you think like, what, you know, like, I got to do something for me. Because I keep on giving into these companies, and then, you know, nobody got your back but you.
And it's kind of scary to start up a business especially in what you have going on now.
Especially nowadays.
Con-
Mira, you didn't hear the what was it? The mayor today?
The governor.
The governor.
Cuomo.
Yeah, Cuomo.
Here. te lo tengo
Talking
acá.
that if the numbers don't go down, that indoor dining is going to close.
That's scary.
I mean, look, so many restaurants already have closed. They continue to close. So many. There's a survey here. I think it's from what is this? From the Bar Association, right?
Yeah, from the Bar Association. They sent out a couple of numbers that you were showing me, and it's
Right.
crazy. Go ahead.
110,000 restaurants nationwide are closed. 10,000 more since our last survey. So imagínate. So this is going fast. 52% of former owners of shuttered restaurants say they will not return to the industry. Then 59% of the owners report their costs are going up even as sales are going down. So imagínate, you're not making money. The city is telling you to build these damn wooden outdoor things that who the hell's going to sit there
How much
at
time do we
20
have for that?
degrees?
Yeah.
You know,
That's
like
crazy.
it's but this is all a business owner feels that they could do. Oh my God, you know, like how am I gonna live? I gotta sacar dinero de donde no tengo.
De algo, yeah.
You know, build this freaking little hut and hope that people freeze their asses and I'm able to make it.
And the biggest like against it, right? Like people have to eat outside, but then you still gotta close it out como si fuera inside. So like, hello, like let's decide what we want to do.
Yeah.
But as a business owner, you have to do that to survive. I talk to a lot of people, and I've told them this: the people that are going to survive in this are the people that are going to think outside the box.
Oh, of course.
If you didn't offer shipping, hey,
yeah,
take this week
yeah,
to offer shipping.
right.
You don't do takeout. You're not on Seamless. You're not on Uber Eats. Take this week to find out how to be on Uber
No,
Eats.
of course. That's. I mean, look, that's what we did. We never did. First of all, we were too kind of bombarded with the busyness, with the overall business that we didn't have a chance to really get down delivery. But this happened, and that's it. I was like, okay, we gotta get delivery on the website. We need to. I mean, because we had Grubhub and everything like that, but our own delivery. I went and bought the bike. We got to the website, and now I mean,
I hope you got him gloves though.
Our delivery is so busy, but at the same time, it's like, how much more will a business accept the government to tell you can't do this, you can't do this, but you still got to pay rent, you got to still pay your bills. You know, I mean, I'm a business owner. I have my own rent. I have the business rent. And you know what? If I close down for a couple months, I'm okay. What about my employees? What about their families?
That's the key word, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when does a business say, coño, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to take this into my own hands and see what the hell happens, because I gotta eat. I don't want to stand on a welfare line. No. And get the what, $300 that they're gonna give me? How I'm gonna live?
But even now, like let's say something comes up, right? I have my brother who he lost his job and everything, and then he's an independent contractor, right? So he was let go in March, right? Okay, we'll call you back. Never called him back, but he got called back for 1 week. So uno siendo real va y pone eso because you don't want to lie either. You don't want to have to pay that money back.
Right.
He put that in June. Right? Hasta el día de hoy, he's still waiting for the letter to come in about why he worked that week. Again, but he wasn't called after that either.
Right.
So now, like, again, we don't want to do that because now it's even harder for you to get help. But looking at it from your side, right? From like the business side. Porque a lot of the customers just see, my alcapurrias went up 25 cents.
Yeah.
The costs are going up too, even for you guys, correct?
I mean, for us, no. I mean, everything to me is right. I feel the cost as far as food when this started. Yeah. When this started, that was some crazy shit.
How?
Romaine lettuce was like almost $100 a case. Romaine lettuce is like $35.
Okay.
A steak, una caja de, because we go through a lot of food. Because thank God, again, thank you guys. I love you so much for supporting us so much. We go to a lot of food, so we don't buy one unit.
No.
We buy cases.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to buy that case of steak was almost $500. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Something that was, I think it was normally is like 250, 260.
Yeah.
It was double.
That is crazy.
It was double. But how I'm not gonna offer steak?
You have to.
So then I got the buy, but I was like, oh my God, Victor, can you believe the freaking steak was almost $500? So of course we put a sign up by the register, due to shortages, blah blah blah, because everything went up.
Yeah.
Now because there was all the factories were closed.
Yeah.
So the ones that were open were trying to fill the demand and they couldn't. So they, everything costs more.
And I didn't know this until I started working in the trucking field, right? So like uno piensa like, okay, yeah, the cost of fuel goes up. How is that going to affect me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that piece of steak that you're going to get at the restaurant has
to be
go,
transported.
Of course. Tiene que salir del
Right.
the processing plant. I'm not even going to count the part before the processing plant because that's also stuff that we got to pay. But it has to leave the processing plant. It has to get into the truck. It has to go to the distribution center. Then it has to get into another truck to then go to the place where you're going to sell it, your bodega, your restaurant depot, whatever it is.
Right.
These are all people that are in between where now everybody was told to stay home.
Yeah.
So now if you had 100 drivers, now you only have 10.
Yeah.
And even if you had those 100 drivers, they get paid by the truckload.
Right.
So if the truck only has like a quarter of the stuff in it, it's going to cost more to move that.
Right.
So por eso que llegó a $500.
Yeah, no, it was scary.
But I'm glad that people understand because again, like that's the thing. Like you guys are straightforward. You let the people know, hey,
Oh yeah.
esto subió
No.
por esto.
No, of course.
You know?
I let me tell you, I fought, to be honest, I fight.
Yeah.
Me and Victor,
Yeah.
we on the real, because we are keeping it real with the Freakin Rican. On the real, me and Victor were, los pasteles or this or that, esto ha subido, and I'm like, no, not yet, not yet. People suffering, people this, people that. So sometimes you should raise the price. But coño, people are suffering. So it's like a tug of war, but it's not easy. Right now, businesses, I feel we need to fight back. We need to fight back because our communities are going to continue to be destroyed. Restaurants, small businesses make up your community. Let me tell you, people walk into my restaurant and I know them. I know Mark. I know Liz. I know Ben. I know Luz. I mean, so many of our wonderful customers, they're our family. They have a problem. They talk to us. I mean, it's a sense of community. And when you lose that, what do you have?
Nothing.
What do you have?
Yeah.
You know what? You don't have those relationships in Target.
No.
I don't remember going to Target, be like, "Hey, fulana, oh my God, blah blah." No.
You have a kid out of college that doesn't know like where anything is.
And so the part of this that gets me fueled up is they want to tell you to shut down this, but there's a ton of people at Walmart. There's a ton of people at Walmart. Everybody's in Target. Everybody's in these big name stores, but yet little mom and pop, me and you, we're trying to go up the ladder. You're telling us we can't.
Yeah. We fit three more people in here. We got to close.
And we don't and we don't have all that money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to have the American dream. And now, supuestamente COVID came, and the American dream is dead.
Yeah, pero with the thing that you sent me, right, with the email.
I think you pulled it up right here.
Yeah.
The Bar and Restaurant Association, they have this Restaurant Act. So you could fill this out, and basically, this is just telling Congress, like, come on, man. You know, we need some help.
Yeah.
We need some help because restaurants are closing and they're not going to come back. You're telling us we can't do this, we can't do that, but you're not doing anything for us.
So what we're going to do is in the comments, we're going to give you guys the link so you can go ahead and fill that out. By the way, now everybody knows my last name is Vilches. It's okay, though. But you guys can fill this out, send the email. Again, like, and it's funny because people say, oh, we don't have a voice. Yeah, we do. If you get enough people involved, where, you know, you sign a petition, and it's not those chain emails like, hey, if you don't forward this to 10 people, like
Facebook.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Facebook
Like
things.
you need to go and look for these things. But again,
Let me tell you,
Dale.
I'm sorry to cut you
no,
off.
dale.
But I'm so passionate about these things. It's Hurricane Maria happened. I went to Puerto Rico by myself. Everybody told me, be careful, it's dangerous, que this, que they're robbing, que this, que that. You know what? You have to be clear-minded and want to create change. And you will infect others to do the same. And so this is a point in time where this is going to affect you one way or another. I just heard, I think on the news, something about unemployment. If they don't pass this, people are going to go unemployed. Like, you have to stand up for what you believe, because we are the voice. We put government in power.
We're the ones that vote for them.
Exactly. So it is up to us to stand firm in what we want and not feel bullied that we can't talk or you know, address something that is our livelihood. You know, if my restaurant shuts down, how do I live?
Yeah.
How do my employees live when all of the restaurants are shutting down? So you have to stand up for what you believe and not play into all this fear mongering. Because you watch the news, oh my God, que they closed this guy down, que esto, que lo otro. Like, come on, man.
And
No.
and it's funny because even
No,
though
I get upset.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, no, I'm ready like to fight.
did you don't start
The,
swinging. Don't start-
the boogie down Bronx is coming out of me. No.
Did you see the video of the business owner in California?
Oh, it was in California?
The one where
I thought it was in Staten Island, California, that they were protesting the bar.
No, well, the bar was in Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
So what happened in Staten Island is on the one side you were able to stay open past 8 o'clock, and then on the other side of the street it was before 8. So the
Yeah.
guy was like, "No, why is he able to stay open as far, further?" But the one
That's what it was. I mean, they
that's what
arrested him twice. He came back and opened. People started
Okay.
protesting.
Pero no te explicaron esa parte. I had to go look for it and see why he was protesting, right? Because lo que te tira, no, he's protesting because of COVID.
Yeah.
No, he's protesting because the people on the other side of the street, and it's literally by a street, que están separados.
But I thought it had to do with the indoor dining.
Yes, pero ¿qué pasa? In his side, they're telling him que tiene que
okay.
cerrar a las 8.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
the other people are able to stay open till 11.
Right.
So he's like, again, why do they get to stay open later and we don't?
It's just when you really think about things, if you're a critical thinker and you really try, like what I like to do is I like to take all information.
Yeah.
Okay. I listen to all informations. All of my friends, a lot of my friends think differently. I listen to you. I listen to that. I listen to news. and then I think. And I think. And I say, okay, now you got to shut down at 8. Now at 10. What the hell does COVID know what freaking time it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense.
I'm suffering as a business, and you're telling me that I need to close. Like, are you trying to tell me what to do? You just want to like dictate what I can and can't do? Because that's what it seems like. Because I don't think an infection, a virus, whatever you want to call it, knows what time it is.
No.
Let me make my money so I can survive.
Exactamente. And the craziest thing is they already have things in place. Like everybody has to wear masks. You got to stay 6 feet apart. Like, I don't know if you get to see like the little meme where like it's like an ATM, like there's 3 ATMs. They have the 6 feet apart X's, but like they're right next to each other. They're like, oh, COVID doesn't go sideways. It only goes forward and backwards.
No, but it's just, I mean, at this point, I feel like it's ridiculous. It's already ridiculous. So much suffering is going on. So many people are committing suicide. So many people are going through depression. I mean, people are losing their livelihoods. Like, enough is enough.
Yeah. By the way, the California government, the one that I was talking about before with
Yes.
the lady, she made a video. Um, she's in this parking lot, right? But her restaurant is like in the back. So she starts the video and she's walking towards like the main part of the parking lot.
Okay.
So she goes, "How can California tell me that I spend money to put up my own tent and they tell me that I can't have people?" And then she turns the camera around and it's like 5 times bigger tent than she has.
I think I saw something.
And she's like, and this is what they set up for a movie studio. Like, you're
Yeah.
making me close,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you're setting this up, which is 5 times bigger
Yeah.
for a movie studio.
And then, of course, the argument will be like, oh, because it's bigger, the air circulation, whatever the hell it
They're
is.
next to each other.
But it's like,
They're
it's-
next to
it's-
each other.
It's everything. I feel, I mean, if things are the way it is, I mean, you would literally have to put yourself in a bubble because you walk past people, you know. I mean, you're not going to have, unless you're going to have a mask or live in a bubble 24 hours a day, you would never be safe.
No.
You would never be safe.
Pero a mucha gente se lo están metiendo eso en la cabeza.
Is that you know, Leo,
Mhm.
if your mom tells you you're fat and ugly
Mhm.
and she tells it to you enough times, you're going to grow up believing it.
Yeah.
So we live in a time where the news, if every single channel you go to the news,
Mhm.
they tell you the same thing. the
Of
same
course.
thing, the same thing. So once you hear the same thing 1,000 times, in your mind is the truth, because that's all you hear,
Which is not.
which is not.
Which is not.
Which is not. But
By the way, yeah, restaurant owner shares her frustration over a dining ban after film crew set up craft right next door to her. We're gonna put that link too for you guys to be able to go read on that.
no.
And again, and that's why we choose to do this, because como te dije recién, the Staten Island guy. I watch the news. I watch
Yeah.
Fox 5. I watch Telemundo. I watch Univision. Ninguno te dijo why he was protesting.
And I think they said it arrested the manager twice. And let me tell you, if you see me in the news, you better come out to the Freakin Rican protesting, okay?
Let's go.
Because
Pasteles for everybody.
I'm serious, you know. Free alcapurrias, you know. No, because you know
It's
what it
true,
is.
though. We laugh, but it's true.
You gotta stand up,
Mhm.
especially like I just feel we all have the right to make a living,
Exacto.
you know, and to provide for our families. And so when you get that taken away from you, I mean, are you just gonna go quietly?
No.
Or you're gonna put up a fight? Because I didn't struggle to get to where I'm at right now to close my doors because you say I can't do this. I have to do this way. One day is 10 o'clock. Other day is 9 o'clock. Today is wear mask. The next day is 6 feet. So now it's 6 feet and a mask. So I thought, like, what the hell? This study says this. Then a year later, a study comes and says this was wrong. So it's like, you're telling me what to do and you can't get your shit right? Oh, no.
No, watch. John
No.
Rosado, right? Dice, part of personal growth is knowing the purpose, plan, and destiny for your life. And come hell or high water, be determined to press forward
Yep.
when everyone else is retreating.
Yeah, it's true.
And
That's
again,
true.
it and all this is also with personal growth, because again,
Everything. Yeah.
you started this whole thing, this business, you know, where it's your day to day, and you always wanted to succeed,
Right.
but you also want to have control over whether it fails or not.
Right.
Right now, a lot of people, and that's why, you know, we decided to bring this up on the air and also give you guys the link, because a lot of people don't have that control.
No.
You know, like, if I'm gonna fail, I want to fail for myself.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Pero even with
It's your choice in
Exacto.
a sense. You know what
Exacto.
I'm saying? You made the bad choice. Okay, pues esto te pasa. But someone else dictating that for you, you know, is a little, you know, is No, I'm not having it.
Really good question about being a boss. DJ Roy Luis, free plug. As a boss, how's the best way employees can present new ideas without being intrusive?
um, excuse me. Uh, I think I mean employees. I know at the restaurant. Let me tell you, it just comes about. Sometimes you have, well, you should kind of have that relationship where your employee feels comfortable enough to tell you, oh, look, he's doing this like this. You know what? I was thinking, why don't we do this? You know, and that has happened in the restaurant. Right now, I can't pinpoint when it had, but and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's try that.
Nah.
And it's amazing because it just shows me as a boss, wow, this guy really likes his job and he really wants
They're
things
invested.
to come out right. That's when I think it'll come out from the employee. As a boss, you shouldn't feel negative towards it. You should welcome it.
And that goes to show
Not
you.
that you're gonna listen to everything.
No, but it's good to
you
have
take
input.
it in, of course.
But
yeah.
it goes back to what we were talking about before,
Yeah.
that you need to align yourself with people that maybe might not think 100% the way you do.
Right.
Because again, and I think we were talking this off the air. The guy from Cheetos,
Yes.
the janitor.
Yes,
he's
yes,
the one
yes.
that came up with the flaming hot Cheetos. Why? Because on his break, he would take the Cheetos bag and put his own mix of like spices. Again, but you bring that up to a company,
Right.
and especially for a small business, you have to have that open door. You know what I mean? Because again, you're only as strong as the people around you.
Right, exactly. Because they're what pushes you forward.
Exacto. So we have the personal growth. And again, I pulled this up from worldminded.com. Again, we'll put all the links in the description.
Yes. Guys, please go fill this out. Send it out. The Bar Association.
The Restaurants Act. Yeah.
Right. The Restaurants Act. That's gonna help. I mean, so many families, and so many communities. So please.
and I know this is not a political show, and
No,
I think at the end of the day
we just talk about everything.
Yeah, but a lot of people are like, oh no, that has to do with politics. It doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
It affects your brother.
Yeah.
It affects your cousin. It affects your friend. It affects your sister.
No,
it affects everybody.
Everything. Yeah. Every. I feel like everything is intertwined.
Yep.
Everything is intertwined, and now more than ever, we need to speak our mind, and be comfortable with speaking our mind, even if we make someone a little uncomfortable. It's okay. It's okay. I've been uncomfortable many times, and sometimes from that being uncomfortable, I learned something. So we can't. Oh my God, you're violating me. Please do not say that.
You're hurting my ears.
Like, yes. Oh my God. Like, what the hell? Like, no.
I think sometimes estamos muy metidos in our own world.
And all these groups and stuff. No, honey, we're one people. We are one. And when the other day, oftentimes I drive and I see all these birds, and the birds are like, and it makes me so happy. And I'm like, wow. And then you look, in National Geographics and all these shows, the fish, what's up with us?
Yeah.
What happened?
And they communicate.
What happened?
They all kind of speak the same language, but they figure it out.
But they are like in sync, and we are supposed to be in sync, but there's powers that be that don't want us to be in sync. So it's our job to stop. Okay, you think like this, okay, you think like that one, okay, you brown, you're this, you're gay, you're straight. We're all one. And once we get it together, this world will change, where something that you have never ever experienced. But we can't put that onto the government. We can't put that up to a group. We have to put that into ourselves as individuals to get the help we need to heal, and slowly, how I say, like, spread it. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever seen dolphins feed?
Dolphins feed? I think so.
Okay. So
Why?
what dolphins do, right, is they start to form a circle where they get all the fish that they're about to eat, no,
Okay.
into like a little circle. But you also have la gaviota, like the seagulls, that start to go on the top because they know that the
'Cause they
dolphins
know,
are
they're
making
like,
this
"Oh,
circle.
thank you."
Now, do
Feeding
dolphins and
time.
seagulls speak the same language?
Right.
No, but
Right,
they
right.
understand
Right.
that they need to work
It's time
together
to eat.
to eat. So there you go. So, and again, no estamos poniendo viejo because we talk about National Geographic
No.
stuff.
I know. But look, we're
dale.
about to close out.
Mhm.
So I just have a couple public service announcements. No.
Dale.
I want to let you guys know. You could pick up Flaco Coquito. Flaco Coquito will be they're at liquor stores, so you could go to www.flacocoquito.com. Find out what liquor stores you could get the coquito. It is delicious. You're gonna love it, and I'm so excited to announce that they will also be shipping.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could go on to either our site, you could write to us, or their site. I know they're working on putting a link where you could pre-order. So she's gonna ship out the coquito right
Nice.
to your freaking door. Where are you gonna find that service? And I know you guys in freaking Ohio, Colorado, North Carolina. La abuelita no está haciendo coquito ahora. You
No.
know, she moved out. You're not in the boogie down Bronx. FlacoCoquito.com is going to send it to you straight to your door. And don't forget, we have the pasteles, sazon, adobo, sofrito, our hats, the knives. Let me tell you guys.
Yeah, tell me about the knives. They look good.
If you don't act now, those knives are going to be sold out for the second time. Thank you so much to everyone that has believed in our brand. I'm so humbled by your support. You have watched me from my little fucking kitchen in my home to grow to be such a successful company, and I really owe it to you. I only create quality, amazing products, whether it's food, whether it's the knives. Soon I'm going to be working on a pot and pans.
Nice.
Yes. I gotta do like Rachel Ray. Why can't I be the Puerto Rican male Rachel Ray?
There you go.
Why?
There you go.
Why? Because I'm Puerto Rican?
EVOO.
So again, www.thefreakinricannyc.com. I love you guys. We will see you next week. Next week, I believe we're gonna have a
We have a surprise for them.
guest, and please spread love. Y recuerden, la vida es mejor with what? Con un buen sabor. I love you guys.